Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Julie here with, another speed build as per usual. So this one's a little bit different. I decided to go with the off-the-grid trait. It's a new lot trait that we got a couple of updates ago, and I haven't used it yet, and I really haven't even played the game much in the last little while because I'm too busy building and editing and not playing the game. But I have to say, the off-the-grid trait is a little frustrating. So I went ahead and I built this, obviously, from beginning to end, and then to go in and do the screenshots, obviously I put a sim in there. Everything that, there's certain things that in the catalog say, oh, this, is functional with off-the-grid trait, but it's just lies. So I put the wood burning stove in. At least it looks like a wood burning stove to me. I assume that's what it is. But when you actually click on it to cook, it doesn't let you do anything other than, oh, cook with gas. And you're like, okay, fine, that's fine. The only options that came up for my sim were grilled cheese sandwich or egg and toast. And he couldn't make either of them because we don't have a fridge. Because, hello, off the grid, you don't have a fridge. So I thought, well, I'll put, and this is like off camera is when I figured all this stuff out. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll switch a couple things out and I'll put, a cooler in. The cooler does not act as a fridge because, obviously if you're trying to make a grilled cheese, you need cheese and that belongs in a fridge. If you try to make eggs and toast, you need eggs and those belong in a fridge. So really the stove, I guess, is kind of useless. The wood burning stove that says works off the grid, it's just I guess it's good for heat to keep you warm on those cold winter nights. Now maybe as your sim gets better in, the cooking field, then maybe more options would open up to things that you don't necessarily need a fridge for, but I can't even think of what those would be. So, so I tried to change a couple things around. I left the cooler in because I thought, well, at least it's a way to get like a quick meal as per, in The Sims. What's very strange to me is the barbecue. I'm like, well, crap. If you can't cook anything on the stove, you won't be able to cook anything on the barbecue because everything needs to be refrigerated until cooked, most things. But apparently on the barbecue, you can still cook hamburgers and hot dogs and franks and beans, all things that to me, as far as I think, hamburgers and hot dogs should probably be kept in a fridge up until, cooking time. Anyhow, I'm not even going to try to understand it, but it was a really frustrating lot trait to work with. The lights as well, like you can see above the little dining room table there, it's, a hanging light fixture with candles, as far as I thought. And when I put them in, the first thing I did when I went to this lot, before I even started building, was I put the off-the-grid lot trait on. Because I thought, well, during building, it's, obviously things are not going to work if it requires electricity. Well, apparently not the case, because every light other than like just a flat out obvious candle, every light I put in this build, none of them worked when I moved my sim in. I'm like, why is everything so dark? And I tried clicking on the lights and turning them on, and they're like, oh, this requires electricity. I'm like, it is a hanging candle as far as I can tell. Anyhow, even this light in the bedroom, what is that? That's right, that's an oil lamp. Does it work on off the grid? No, it does not, because it's apparently an electrical oil lamp. I don't understand. I don't know what they were doing. So anyways, off camera at the end, like in the screenshots, actually no, in the screenshots I think everything is as is. I don't even remember now. I don't remember if I made a few changes before the screenshots or after. But either way, the light hanging above the dining room table is no longer there. It's just candles actually on the table. There is what looks like a candle light beside the window in the living room. That is also gone. I put up a shelf instead and put, I think it's like that candle that comes in that really cute little bowl. And in the bathroom, I put what looked like a makeshift light. It came with Strangerville, so I thought maybe it would work. And it didn't. So I ended up putting a shelf in the bathroom as well above the mirror and put what's an obvious candle there. So there is lighting now inside the house. So if you do go to the gallery and download this build, all the lights have been changed. Everything works. I still left the stove in because I don't know, it looks nice. But anyhow, I really enjoyed this build. It was fun. It was different. It was a little outside my comfort zone. My last few builds have been, I guess, a little more modern. And so I went into this build completely blind. I had no idea what to do with off the grid. And I kind of started it and then I went back to it a couple days later, and in my head before I went back to it, I'm like, I think I hate this build. Like, I don't think I like it at all. And then when I went back in, I was like, you know what? It's actually not as bad as what I was remembering that I had done. So I think it turns out really cute. I think it almost looks maybe more like a cottage type thing rather than off the grid, but obviously there's no electricity. So who I built this for in mind, I was thinking it's a man who has been recently divorced. The wife kind of took everything. The kids are all grown and out of the house. And he didn't, kind of get left with much, but he took that opportunity in the little bit that he had, that he was left with, and actually built his dream home, which was to be just kind of disconnected from everything, off the grid. Now, he would have preferred to be kind of like in the forest off the grid, but in my mind, they kind of like raised their family in like the suburbs of like Vegas type thing. So off the grid for him would be in the desert, if he wants to stay close to his kids who I feel are still in town. They're just grown up and starting their own families, and he doesn't want to be completely disconnected from them. And yeah, like I thought, okay, well, he's gonna be a gardener. Obviously, he's gonna have to build all his own, not build all his own, he's gonna have to grow all his own, food and everything like that. So I built a pretty nice garden. And now, if you watched the previous build, the modern dream home that I did for my daughter, you'll notice that from the gallery I brought in the same vegetable plants and stuff. Because this is a small lot, when I was looking up vegetable plants and stuff in the gallery so I could put stuff that was already like mature, I guess, I didn't have a lot of room, and most of the things that people have shared at the gallery seem to be really big, so I had to pick something smaller. But I love this yard. I mean, I'm not a fan of the desert, not that I've ever been, but I don't think I would like it at all. And I'm not a fan of dirt, and I would rather, have grass than dirt. But I really like this yard. I think it works perfectly for the character that I had in mind for it. Just that little wooden bench that I put in those apple trees in the corner there. I don't know. I love that. And then I brought the brick from the outside in, but just in the bathroom, because I thought that made it look really, not so much rustic, but I don't know. It made it feel really man-made. Like maybe this was like a cabin that he bought that was like super old and it had no bathroom at all. And maybe just had like an old outhouse, and he, obviously destroyed the outhouse and kind of like with his own two bare hands, made this brick bathroom. And in the kitchen, obviously, I tried to pick counters and stuff that looked as almost like natural, I guess, as possible. So, the wood top to it. And then obviously in this vicinity, there's a lot of big rocks. So I tried to bring that in onto, into the landscaping as well with some, what are they called? Like succulents, I think. I think it's like things that'll just kind of thrive in any conditions. Yeah, in the bathroom, I just added a few things here. Like with this build, I did kind of the exterior, and then I moved inside and did some stuff, and then back outside, and then back inside. It was a very back and forth. And then outside here, I put some of those, which, did they work? Yeah, I think they did. They're like candles in a bag. I didn't think it was all that, off the grid look. Like I can't picture some like burly man who lives off the grid being like, I need some bags that I want to put some candles in. Because it's a little, I don't know, to me it's like a romantic thing that you would have. But anyways, they're there because they work. So this build I really enjoyed, and I hope you like it too. It's all my information for the gallery, if you want to download it, will be in the description. So yeah, comment, like, subscribe, and stick around to see my next build. Have a great day. Bye.